Hi, welcome to a vinyasa practice. My name's Kaylee. When you're ready, you can meet me in a comfortable seat. We're just going to start by hopefully settling in a little bit and connecting with the breath. Give yourself the first few moments, really anytime you come to your practice, to not need to drop in immediately. So take a moment, let yourself shift around, settle in, and eventually, maybe your eyes close down. You might make a couple little adjustments to your physical space, to your body, or to the surface that you're practicing on so that you feel as comfy as possible. And then allow your body to become still instead of trying to play freeze tag or something with your own energy. See if you can slow things down gradually first. And then just let stillness find you. Eventually letting that stillness really take over your entire physical body. And starting to connect more to the subtle movement of your breath. Let your next inhale move all the way down as if you could breathe down into your low belly. Let the breath expand out to the bottom of the lungs and the sides of the ribs. Little pause at the top. Open your mouth and exhale, let it go. Do that again. Take a breath in. Let the belly fill, let the chest expand as your lungs fill with breath. And then exhale completely, letting it go, letting yourself sink a little bit deeper, finding that stillness at the end of your out breath. Now one more deep breath here. Perhaps you use the inhale to trace from the tailbone all the way up the spine, between the shoulders, the back of the neck, the base of the skull, to the crown of the head. And then let the exhale wash right back down from the crown of the head, down the back of the neck, between the shoulders, all the way down, down, down into your sit bones. When you're ready, you can blink your eyes open. Bring your arms up over your head for a stretch. Interlace your fingers except for your thumbs and press your palms toward the ceiling. Go ahead and keep your nose pointing straight forward. So we're just adding a little bit of length into the spine instead of taking a back bend or extending through the neck just yet. Keep the spine nice and long here. Breathe in. And then bring your right hand down. Push your left heel up toward the left heel of the hand up toward the ceiling. See if you can find a little bit of action in the side body. So the heels of the hands are pushing away from each other here. And then just trade it out. Push down with the heel of the bottom hand, push up with the heel of the top hand, and swap it out side to side, starting to wake up through the side body, through the obliques, maybe through the underarms. Keep taking some of those deep breaths. Make a little mental note of anywhere in your body that's starting to talk to you a little bit, anywhere that needs a little bit of extra attention or care or mindfulness as we move through today's flow, today's practice. Got a really fun flow planned. Come through center, cactus your elbows out to the side, and lift the chest. Now go ahead and lift the chin, extending your spine. You can send your tailbone back a little bit in space behind you. Let the belly soften, breathe in. And then bring the hands together. Put a little distance between your thumbs and your sternum as you round your spine. You might tuck your tailbone a little bit, draw the abdominals in and upward. So seated cat, seated cow. Inhale, open it back up, lift the chin. Exhale, palms push together, really press palm to palm, breath out. Inhale, seated cow. And exhale for a seated cat. One more time, breathe in. Breathe out. Switch the cross of your legs as you come through neutral. And then interlace your hands out in front of you and just start to circle out through the wrists. We're going to be doing a little bit of work in plank and chaturanga today. So we want to make sure that all of those little proprioceptors and kind of neural muscular connections here in the joint spaces are nice and active. Try and switch the direction of those circles. You can always release your hands. It gets a little tricky for me if I try and take those figure eights in a different direction. So just make sure you're moving the wrists, moving the fingers. For 3, hands and knees tabletop in 2 and 1. All right, meet me in a tabletop position with your shoulders stacked over your wrists, and then draw a couple circles with your torso in space. Try and keep some space in the lower back, so we're keeping the pelvis neutral and the lumbar spine supported. Switch the direction of those circles, nice deep breaths. Come back to all fours here. Keep the hands down and then extend the right leg back behind you. Drop the ball of the foot down to warm up through your calf and your ankle. So you can press way back with that right heel to get a calf stretch and build some length into the back of that leg, and then shift forward. Take it a couple times forward and backward. Just be mindful of where the weight moves. It moves toward the fingertips as you shift forward, right? Then try and keep some weight in the fingertips as you shift back, almost like you're kind of trying to bunch your yoga mat up underneath your hands. Let's float that right leg back in space. Circle your right ankle. Reach your left arm forward to add a little challenge for that spinal balance here. Reach long through the right foot and the left arm. Take a deep breath in. We're going to bring elbow to knee underneath the body. Really squeeze. Push that right hand down into the mat. Do that 2 more times. Inhale, reach. Exhale, squeeze under the body. Last one like that. Breathe in. Elbow to knee, hold. Hold elbow toward knee. And then push the right hand down into the mat. Make sure your right shoulder is directly over your right wrist. Try and create a curve from the palm of your right hand all the way up to the right shoulder blade. So push that hand away. Try and pull your chest up toward your right shoulder blade. Good. Take a breath in. Set the hand and the knee down. Bump your hips side to side. And then take your hips all the way back into a child's pose. Turn your palms to face upright. Pause there. Take a big breath in. And then stay there. Relax the shoulders. Let it go as you exhale. On an inhale, slide back to your tabletop position. And then exhale, tuck the left toes. Press back through your left ankle and heel, waking up that side of the body. Shift forward and backward, or you can hold in that isometric stretch if you'd rather. So as we're working from this tabletop position, think about pushing your hands down into the mat and pulling your chest up between the shoulders. Shoulders stay over the wrist here. Float the left leg up, reach the right arm forward. Again, it's not a rounding in your spine right now, nice neutral spine, but round the shoulder blades as if you're trying to tuck your ribs into your shoulders and space behind you. Take a breath in. Elbow to knee as you exhale. Squeeze, hug the low belly in toward the low back. 2 more times with your breath. Inhale, reach. Exhale, squeeze under the body. Breathe in, stretch. Elbow to knee, hold it there. Keep pressing that left hand down. You might even imagine like there's something sharp pointing toward your breastbone. Try and lift your chest away from that imaginary sharp point. Great, take a breath in. Set hand and knee down as you exhale. Widen your knees out and then press back to a wide-kneed child's pose. You can turn the palms to face up, or you can keep them downward, but notice the sensation in your arms, your wrists, your hands. And just take a moment to gauge what you might need from your practice today. Is today a day where you really feel like you've got a lot of energy to burn off and maybe you want to challenge yourself? Today a day where it was just almost like pulling your own teeth to get to your mat, where maybe you Just want to go through the motions and relax a little bit into whatever flow happens. Usually we're somewhere between those two extremes, and oftentimes where we are changes throughout the course of the practice. So really just give yourself this invitation to meet your body, meet your mind where it's at, moment to moment, breath to breath. On an inhale, come back to hands and knees, spread out your fingers nice and wide. And then downward facing dog, tuck the toes under, lift the knees, lift the hips. Take a moment in your first down dog. Feel free to pedal it out a little bit. Maybe wag your hips side to side or give your head a gentle nod or shake. And see if you can move in a way today that feels like it's really authentic, really aligned with what your body and your mind need. Let go of any judgment or any expectations that the practice needs to look a certain way or turn out a certain way. And give yourself permission really just to be. It's such an act of love and care to just let ourselves show up. Shift forward to the top of a push-up. You might have to walk your hands forward a little bit. You can always drop the knees down, but in this high push-up position, do that same thing. Press your palms down firmly into your mat. And then imagine, right, that like sharp object pointing up toward your breastbone. So you lift the chest toward the shoulders, creating an arc-like shape between your hands, your arms, and your shoulders. So the back, the spine stays nice and long and neutral, but we're rounding the shoulders away from midline. Keep that activation as you shift forward even further. Keep pushing the hands down as you lower just halfway to chaturanga. Push the hands down, push the hands down. Drop the knees down, and then come back to high push-up. Ooh, two more like that. Lower halfway down, and come back to high push-up. Last time like that. Take a breath in, squeeze through the chest and the underarms. Exhale, high plank to child's pose. Drop your knees. Stay here. Take one big breath in. And a long breath out. You're going to pull forward to your hands and your knees. And then inhale as you lift the right knee. Keep the right knee bent. Point the right toes. Lift the chin. So you can imagine that you're bringing the right toes toward the back of the head. You may not ever get there, but see if you can find in your mind's eye that kind of connected circular shape. Breathe into it. Tuck left toes under. Exhale, right knee to right elbow. Give it a little squeeze. Think cat in your upper back. Three-legged dog. Lift the left knee, lift the right leg. Breathe in, bend your right knee. And just find some space in the right hip. Maybe you move the right knee around in a circle to the right. Maybe you switch the direction of those rotations that you're making in your right hip, really warming up that right hip socket. Right leg kicks back to three-legged dog. Breathe in. Step both of your feet to the top of the mat. Separate the feet to about hips distance, and then catch the crooks of your opposite elbows for ragdoll. Put a nice bend in the knees. It can be soft. It could be a really generous bend in the knees, but let gravity help decompress the back of your neck. Crown of the head points straight down. You might nod your chin gently from shoulder to shoulder. Release the fingers down. Heel toe the feet even further apart. And then lower your hips down into Malasana. Toes are out, heels are in. You can bring your hands to your heart center here. Then press elbows into the inner thighs as you push the inner thighs back into the elbows. Take a breath in, find a little bit more length in your spine. And then release into a forward fold as you exhale. Heel toe the feet closer together, maybe all the way together, maybe they stay hips distance, but slide the hands to the shins as you find your halfway stretch. Pull shoulders away from ears and toward your spine. Breathe in. Catch the calves as you take an active forward fold this time. Chin tucks toward your chest. Take your time, go all the way up to standing. When your shoulders are over your hips, reach the arms up. Interlace your fingers, release the thumb though. Press the palms toward the ceiling. This time look up, give your glutes a little squeeze. And then exhale your hands to your heart. Reach the arms upward, breathe in. Bow forward, long breath out. Catch the calves. Halfway stretch, palms to shins, or maybe your fingers are in line with your toes. Plant the hands, step back to high push-up, rock forward, push the floor away, and then lower half or all the way down. You could be on your knees. Take cobra or upward facing dog, pressing into the tops of the feet, opening up the front of the collarbones and the ribs. And then child's pose, drop your knees and your hips to your heels. One more full round of breath in through your nose. You can open your mouth or exhale through your nose. Pull forward to your hands and your knees. This time the left leg lifts. Keep the knee bent. Point the left toes, lift the chin. Tuck the right set of toes under so you're ready. Breathe in. Left knee, left elbow. Give it a good squeeze. Maybe you actually tap the tricep or the elbow. Three-legged dog. Lift the right knee and the left leg. And then bend your left knee. Find some space in the front of that left hip. Maybe you move your knee around a few times in each direction. See if you can find a path of movement that actually feels pretty good in the hip. So if you get any clunkiness or any clickiness, maybe slow down or reduce the range of motion. Kick the left leg back, breathe in. Step both of your feet to the top of the mat, halfway stretch. Inhale, palms push into your shins. Forward fold, exhale, catch your calves, tuck your chin to your chest. Use an inhale to go all the way up to standing. This time the palms face or touch over your head. And then bring your hands to your heart. Take one breath here, just resetting before we start getting going. Long exhale, maybe it felt like we were already going. We're gonna move breath and motion through that. Arms up, breathe in. Bow forward, hinge at the hips, draw your belly to your low back as you exhale. Halfway stretch, take a breath in. Plant the hands, step back, high plank to low plank. Remember, knees are always an option. Cobra or upward facing dog, breathing in. Drop the knees if they're lifted, child's pose as you exhale. Right away, slide forward, lift the right leg with the knee bent, tuck the left toes, inhale. Right knee, right elbow as you exhale, maybe the left knee already lifted. Three-legged dog, lift the left knee, lift the right leg, breathe in. Step both feet to the top of the mat, breathe out. Halfway stretch, full inhale. Forward fold, exhale. Rise tall, breathe in. Take it right back down this time as you empty out. Hug in toward your legs. Halfway stretch, breath in. Plant the hands, step back, high plank to low plank, strong on the exhale. Cobra or up dog, scoop your heart through, fill your lungs up. Child's pose, drop your knees, send your hips back. We're on the left leg, pull forward on an inhale, lift the left knee. Exhale, left knee, left elbow, maybe your right knee lifts. Three-legged dog, kick back on an in-breath. Step both feet to the top of the mat as you exhale. Halfway stretch here, breathe in. Forward fold, release it down. This time find chair pose. Sweep your arms forward, send your hips back. Set your eyes to one spot. See if you can relax the muscles around the eyes. So it's almost like you're having a staring contest with some spot on the wall, but there's a playful quality to that commitment to keep your eyes on that single point. So we're practicing that ability to make a commitment, to set a focus, and then to really follow through on it. One more big breath in. Stay here as you exhale, bring your hands to your heart. Shift the weight to the right foot. We're going to bring the left toes back behind the right for a Shiva squat, for a yoga curtsy. Straighten the legs out, let the knees take a breather, and then squat right back down, 5 little pulses. 4, push into your front foot, 3, 2, chair pose on 1, left foot under left hip, reach your arms forward on the in-breath. We're just going to switch sides. Hands to the heart, right toes come off to the left, bend low, and then straighten out. Drag it right back down for 5, 4. When we move through that, we're going to skip that straightening out portion. Chair pose on 1. Breathe in. Forward fold as you empty out. Halfway stretch. Take a breath in. Vinyasa. Step, float, or lower down slow. Inhale, cobra or upward dog. Exhale, child's pose. Send your hips back. Same thing, right leg lifts with a bend in the knee. Inhale, maybe you find a little extension in your spine. Right knee, right elbow, or tricep as you exhale. Lift the left knee for more challenge there. 3-legged dog, left knee lifts, right leg goes up. Breathe in. This time, step just the right foot between your thumbs and then drop your left knee down. Practice your right arm open to the side. So you're taking a dragonfly twist, but that right elbow is going to be bent. Pull the right shoulder gently down your spine. Pull the right shoulder blade onto the back of the ribs. Stay here or lengthen that right arm back behind you. Bend your left knee at your left foot or ankle for a bind. You find some length in the sides of the neck. If you caught the back foot, gently release it. Frame your front foot with your fingertips. And then straighten that right leg out just until you feel a nice stretch in the back of the right thigh for Hanumanasana. And curl the right toes gently towards your right knee. Take some long inhales through your nose. And then slow exhales. Maybe you melt a little bit deeper toward that extended right leg or shin or foot. 2 more breaths here. Option to close your eyes and to really feel the sensation of the posture. Last round of breath. Finish the exhale. Look forward. Start to rebend the front knee. Tuck the left toes under. You're going to lift the left knee up. Keep the left heel lifted as well. And then one arm at a time, wing your arms by your side. Pull your belly button away from your front thigh. Pull your navel toward your lower back and then stomp that right foot down into the mat. Energetically, you might be pressing the right foot not just straight down, but slightly forward. So you're pushing as if you were going to draw a little trap behind the right heel. Stay here, or one arm at a time, reach forward for an arrowhead crescent lunge. So your chest is still leaning forward. You're this one long diagonal line of strength and energy from the left ankle all the way to the fingers. Breathe in. We're going to rise the chest up, cactus the elbows as you exhale. So you're in a cactus arm crescent. Reach your arms up on an in-breath. Plant the hands, step back, high to low push-ups, strong through your chest. Cobra or up dog, breathe in, work with the breath. Child's pose as you exhale, press your hips back. Left leg lifts with a bend in the knee. Inhale, reach the chin up. Exhale, left knee, left elbow or tricep, maybe the right knee leaves the mat. 3-legged dog, breathe in. Step left foot forward, lower right knee down. Cactus your left elbow back in space. And stay here, or maybe you reach your left hand for your right foot. So that you're allowing that right shoulder to soften down your back toward your spine. If you caught the back leg, gently release it. Frame the left foot with your fingers. And then straighten that left leg out for your hamstring Hanumanasana stretch. Try and keep your hips pressing back. So a lot of the time the hips get a little bit off center here. And then maybe you soften up the bend in that knee so that you can keep the hips level. One of the things that I'm working with in my movement practice is really knowing that we're always reinforcing some sort of a pattern. And it's way better to do a little bit less very, very well than to do way more not so well, right? Because we're building these neuromuscular patterns. Let an inhale, rebend the left knee, crawl the fingers forward, tuck the right toes, lift the right knee. Hug the inner thighs toward one another, and then wing your arms by your side. Get long through the sides of the neck here, relax the jaw. Reach the crown of the head forward away from your sternum. This is option one. Option two is to reach the arms forward for our arrowhead crescent lunge. Hopefully you've got space. Pressing that front foot down and energetically without straightening that knee. Imagine that you're trying to push that front foot toward the top of your mat. Take a breath in. Lift the chest. Practice the elbows as you exhale, pulling that right hip forward in line with the left. Reach your arms up high, crescent lunge on an in-breath. Plant your hands, step back, high to low push-up, cobra, or upward dog. Breathe in. Listen, this time we're gonna go to downward facing dog. Send your hips back, bend your knees a little bit, take a breath in through your nose. Clear it out, open your mouth, let it go. Look forward, lift the heels. Empty the breath, take a big step or a jump to the top of the mat. Come straight to your chair pose, nice and easy on the in-breath. Hands to your heart, left toes to the right as you exhale, pulse it low for 5, 4, 3, 2, maybe a little lower, 1. Chair pose, breathe in. Go to the left, we pulse for 5, 4. How low can you go safely? 3. Keep the squeeze in the muscles. 2, 1. Back to chair, breathe in. We've got singles this time. Exhale, curtsy right. Inhale, chair. Exhale, curtsy left. Inhale, chair. Exhale, right. Keep going. Find a pace that works for you. Know that there's not really a wrong way to do this, especially if you're focusing on staying connected to finding a really clean, safe, satisfying path of movement where you feel in control. So only take your curtsies in your chair as low as you feel like you can control those movements. The next time we found that curtsy to the right, hold it there. So right foot's forward, left foot's back. Single-legged mountain. Meet me with the left leg lifted. Woo! The arms up. Reach the arms by your ears. Let your tailbone drop down toward the inside of your right heel. Take a big breath in. And then airplane. Lever that left leg back. Sweep the arms by your side. Draw your belly inward and upward to create some space and integrity in your midsection here. Take a big inhale. We're going to step the ball of the left foot to the back of the mat on the exhale. High crescent lunge. Reach your arms up over your head just for the breath in. Lightning crescent. Reach forward or to tilt the chest forward. Reach the arms back rather as you exhale. Arrowhead crescent lunge. Breathe in. Warrior 2 to the back of your mat. So first time we've seen this pose, set your eyes to one spot and start to settle in. You've got a big bend in your left knee and your gaze is somewhere over your left thumb. You call some ease into your body here, create a little bit more length through the sides of the neck. And then as you exhale, press your feet firmly into the mat and play around with lifting your toes. Just feel that stable connection between the balls of the feet and both sides of the heels. We're going to interlace the hands at the lower back. Straighten the left knee out for a moment. Maybe even lift the ball of the left foot so you're pushing your left heel downward. Tug the knuckles gently down your low back as you lift the chest and the chin. Take a big breath. And then humble warrior. Tucking your left shoulder to the inside of the left thigh if it'll get there. Let the crown of the head drop down. Today's a little bit of a struggle for me. That's just part of life, right? Some days are a little bit tougher mentally, some days are tougher physically. Sometimes we're really riding that struggle bus and it's both. And oftentimes, honestly, it's both, right? Because the mind and the body have a really strong connection, whether we're attuned to that or not. So if you're feeling like you're having a little bit of a physical struggle here, can you support yourself mentally? Is there something that you can coach yourself to remind yourself? Maybe you can just say in your mind's eye, I'm strong. And take a breath in. And stay here for that breath out. We're going to release the right hand inside of the left foot, lower the right knee down. Practice your left elbow. Maybe reach back, catch your right foot. Breathe in. We're going to release that foot if you caught it. Frame your left leg with your fingertips. Lift the right knee, straighten the left leg for a pyramid variation. Press your hips back, let your head drop for a moment. Let's rebend that back knee. We'll rebend both knees, but this time lower your right knee all the way down. Plant the right hand underneath your right shoulder. We're going to find a side plank variation with the right knee and right hand down and the left limbs reaching long. So you're in a side plank. You can absolutely kickstand your right toes back behind you a little bit here. Reach open through your chest, spinning everything toward what's now the left side of your space. Breathe in. You're going to bring your left elbow and your left knee as close together as you can on the breath out. Take everything long on the inhale. Keep the left leg lifted, but lower your left hand under your left shoulder. Square your chest to the mat. Exhale, left knee, left elbow. Three-legged dog, big breath in. We're going to step both of the feet to the back of the mat on an exhale. Come straight into your chair pose. Breathe in. Keep your left foot down. Exhale, right toes outside to the left for your Shiva squat. We're going to rise that right knee up, single-legged mountain over here. Breathe in. Fly it back into airplane. About 3 nice deep breaths. Make some adjustments so that you feel stable from your foundation and your core. And then maybe you explore reaching that back leg back a little bit or up a little bit. Reaching the crown of the head further forward a little bit. Take a breath in. The ball of the right foot drops down as you exhale. High crescent lunge. Reach up and fill. Lightning crescent. Sweep the fingers back as you empty out. Find arrowhead lunge on an inhale. Reach long. Warrior 2 to the front. 5 rounds of breath here. You can always take a variation. One of my favorites is turning the palms upward and bringing the elbows into a little bend. As you do that, you'll notice that you can squeeze the shoulders toward one another without arching the spine. So we're not prepped for humble warrior just yet. Keep the spine neutral, but hug shoulder blades together. Great. Let's prep for humble warrior. Interlace your fingers, but put the opposite pinky on the bottom so it feels a little funky. Straighten that right leg out. Maybe you push into just the right heel. Lift the heart, lift the chin, breathe in. Humble warrior, rebend your front knee, slide the right shoulder down inside of the right thigh. And then imagine the crown of the head touching the mat inside of your right heel. Your shoulders feel relatively open here. You might start to play around with letting the knuckles get heavy, letting the knuckles drift toward the floor in front of your head. And take one more breath in, and then exhale, release that left hand, drop the left knee down. Backstroke your right elbow in space, maybe reach back to catch the left foot. We're just here for an inhale. Release the foot if you caught it. Frame your right foot. Exhale and straighten out the legs. Pyramid variation. So I like to lift my front toes and push into that front heel. Totally fine to bend the back knee or the front knee a little bit. Now, all the time in this practice, we're going to focus on making the pose meet your body where it's at instead of forcing your body like it's a round peg into a square hole or something, right? So let yourself be who you are, let your body be as it is, and practice in a way that supports that and supports your highest health. Rebend the front knee, lower the left knee all the way down. Left hand comes down, right limbs float open for your side plank variation. This shape is going to be harder if you keep the left toes back on the mat in line with your left knee. You can kickstand the left toes out to the left side of your mat for a little bit more balance. Take a breath in. Elbow to knee, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze as you exhale. Take everything long again, breathe in. Keep the right leg lifted, right hand comes down, square your chest to the mat, exhale, right knee, right elbow, or tricep. Breath in motion, here we go, right leg lifts, breathe in. Step both feet to the top of the mat as you empty, chair pose on the in-breath. Shiva squat, go right as you exhale. Lift the left knee and arm, single-legged mountain, breathe in. Fly it back to airplane as you breathe out. Stay here, find your balance on the in-breath. Drop the ball of the left foot as you exhale. High crescent lunge, let's add in. Practice the elbows and hover or tap that back knee underneath your hips. Back to high crescent lunge, inhale. One more time, hover the back knee, bend the elbows as you exhale. This time take it straight to arrowhead. Reach forward, lean forward, breathe in. To the back of the mat, warrior two as you empty. Interlace your hands, maybe you straighten the front knee, lift the heart on the in-breath, and then rebend, find humble warrior as you exhale. Stay here, take a breath in. Release the right hand, drop the right knee, exhale, backstroke your left elbow, maybe catch your right foot, breathe in. Exhale, frame your left foot, straighten the left leg, lift the right knee as you breathe out for pyramid variation. Rebend the right knee all the way to that side plank variation. Take a breath in, left limbs reach. Left elbow, left knee, give it a squeeze. Take everything long, breathe in. Keep the leg lifted, left hand comes down, left knee, left elbow as you breathe out. Three-legged dog, inhale, left leg lifts. Step both feet to the back of the mat as you exhale, chair pose, finish that inhale, keep your left foot down, right toes to the left for your Shiva squat, exhale. Right knee and arms up, breathe in. Fly it back to airplane as you empty. Stay here, breath in. Drop the ball of your right foot as you exhale, high crescent lunge. Maybe you look up if you need more of a challenge. Bend your elbows, hover or tap that back knee as you empty the lungs out. Back to high crescent, breathe in. One more time, exhale. Lean forward, reach forward, lift the back knee, breathe in. To the top, warrior two as you breathe out. Interlace the hands and fill up. Humble warrior as you empty out. Nice long breath in. Release left hand, ground left knee. Bend your right elbow, reach it back. Maybe you catch the foot on the inhale. Pyramid variation as you exhale. Rebend the left knee, drop it all the way down. Right limbs open, inhale. Right elbow, right knee, squeeze as you empty. Take it long, finish that breath. Keep the leg lifted, right hand down, square your chest, right knee, right elbow. Three-legged dog, breathe in, let's do that again. Exhale, step both of your feet to the top of the mat. Last time, halfway, right into chair, breathe in. Keep your right foot down, Shiva, left foot to the right, breathe out, take it low. Single-legged mountain, inhale up. Airplane, exhale, fly it back. Take a breath here. Exhale, transition, drop the ball of your foot to the back. Arms up on the in-breath. Bend your back knee and your elbows, exhale. High crescent, breathe in. Bend as you breathe out, lean forward, reach forward, inhale, arrowhead lunge. Warrior two to the back of the mat, exhale, find your balance, interlace your hands, breathe in. Humble warrior, breathe out. Drop the crown of the head, take a breath in. Drop the left hand, ground the left knee, breath out. Inhale, right elbow, maybe you catch the back foot. Exhale, pyramid variation, straighten that front leg out. Drop the right knee, inhale, side plank variation, peel open. Elbow to knee on the exhale, squeeze it together. Reach long, breathe in, just the hand comes down, exhale, knee to elbow. Three-legged dog, kick back and fill. Step both of your feet to the back, straight into chair, breathe in. Right foot steps left, breathe out. Single-legged mountain, inhale, you rise. Exhale, airplane, fly it back in space. Take a long inhale. Drop the ball of the foot as you exhale, high crescent lunge, look up. Bend the back knee and the elbows as you empty out. High crescent again, breathe in. Bend as you empty. Arrowhead, reach forward on the in-breath. Warrior 2 to the top as you empty. Interlace and fill. Humble warrior, let it go. Stay here, breathe in. Left hand down, left knee grounds, breathe out. Bend your right elbow, maybe catch the back foot on the in-breath. Exhale, pyramid variation. Rebend, side plank, right limbs lift, breathe in. Elbow to knee, give it a squeeze. Everything goes long, breath in. Hand down, right knee, right elbow. Kick back to three-legged dog, take a breath in. Step both of your feet outside of your pinky fingers. It's time for Malasana. Bend your knees, drop your hips down. Bring your hands to your heart. Might feel good to shift your weight from foot to foot. Take a couple deep breaths, reaffirming that everything that we're doing is intended to build you up physically and mentally. And we're trying to move in a way that's promoting and ingraining really healthy patterns of movement, healthy self-talk. Keep your knees, keep your feet, but start to round your spine. Keep the spine rounding, but reach the arms forward for a little counterbalance, almost like you're holding on to bands or ropes or something from the wall or the space in front of you. Tuck the tailbone. We're slowly going to try and lower the hips all the way down. That wasn't slow for me. And then catch the backs of the knees here in Navasana. In your high boat right here, we're going to bring the hands down, keep the knees bent. So palms down, back behind you. You have the option to keep the legs at a quite high angle here. The lower we bring the legs, the more intense it's going to be. So lower to a degree that you feel like you can keep knitting the floating ribs down toward your waistband and pulling your belly button toward your lower back. We're going to take a breath in. Lift with bent knees, lift your chest, exhale, squeeze. Try and keep the heels in line with your knees, so try not to drop your heels in. Inhale, take it long. Exhale, lift up, squeeze. Again, breathe in. Breathe out. 7 more, inhale. Lift, squeeze, exhale. 6 more. Option to take a pursed lips, exhale. Like you're cooling off a cup of hot tea. Breathe in to lengthen. Exhale, lift, squeeze. Inhale to lengthen. Lift, squeeze. 3 more, breath in. If you need more, release the arms, breath out. Inhale, so you're in a low boat variation. Last 2, exhale, lift up, high boat. 1 more, take a breath in. Lift up, high boat, hold. Hold in Navasana. Option to reach your arms up over your head. Option to kick the legs out. From wherever you are, your hands could still be back here. We're going to take a low boat and hold for 5, 4, maybe you're flutter kicking your feet, 3, 2, 1. Lower all the way down. Slide your feet down underneath your knees. And then toggle the knees side to side as you cactus your elbows. Slow, slow movement here. Breathe in. Breathe out. Set your feet down right underneath the knees, about hips distance apart. Bring your arms down by your side with your palms facing downward. Feel the palms connected to the ground underneath you. Feel the feet connected to the mat underneath you. And then lift your hips just an inch. Tuck the tailbone a tiny bit. And then feel that your glutes are actively engaging to hold your hips just an inch up. Lift another inch. Keep that little tuck of the tailbone. Lift another inch. And another inch. Keep tilting the tailbone toward the knees. Take it all the way into your bridge. Big deep breaths here. Relax the belly. So we did a lot of squeezing of the abdominals in our boat. Let the belly relax and squeeze for your glutes here. And take a deep breath in as you lift. And then like you're setting down a string of beads with your spine. Slowly, slowly, slowly. Tailbone stays tucked till the very end. And then you release the hips, drop the knees inward. Take a breath in. Open mouth, exhale. And back into your bridge pose. This time you have the option to bring your hands back behind you underneath your shoulders. Turn your fingertips to facing your heels. Your elbows are pointing up at the ceiling. All you're going to do from here, if you choose, is to push into the hands and lift up onto the crown of the head. Keep some weight in the crown of the head. Do a little shoulder check as you gradually start to reduce the weight in your head, and maybe you straighten your arms as you come into wheel. If your shoulders talk to you about this not being a great place for today, go ahead and just lower the head back down. So maybe you take a couple little wheel push-ups, maybe you're in bridge, maybe you're skipping this back bend portion altogether, coming from a place of really listening to your body. The best version of any practice you do is the one that's aligned for you. That's going to look different for every single one of us. And that's going to look different for me from one moment to the next, from one day to the next. Find an expression of this shape that feels sustainable for 3 rounds of breath. And then see if you can smooth your breathing out so there's no pause at the top of the in-breath and the bottom of the exhale. It's not rushed, it's just a circular, continuous flow of prana. 2 more breaths. Maybe your eyes are closed down. Feel some brightness entering the body as you breathe in. And then slowly with control, lower down. Release the arms to the sides. Walk your feet to the edges of your mat. Keep the knees bent, and then let the knees drop together, just letting the inner edges of the knees and thighs rest against each other. And close your eyes down if you haven't. Maybe bring a hand to your belly, a hand to your heart, or find any arm variation that feels comfy in your shoulders. And then just pause and observe the sensations in your body. Notice maybe sensations that feel a little tight. Notice sensations that feel a little spacious. And notice anywhere in your body that's just calling for your attention. That might be a physical call, but it might be something different or deeper or more hard to describe. See if you can just scan as you breathe, using your inhales to move up through the body, pausing at any points of interest. Allowing your exhales to help dissolve any really obvious tension. So we can breathe into pockets of sensation. Notice what's there, let it be. And exhale as an invitation to let some of that release. You're ready, bring one knee at a time into your chest. You move around side to side or front to back, or maybe circle your knees a few times. As you feel ready, rock yourself forward and backward until you can find a seat. Extend your right leg out in front of you. Bring the sole of your left foot to the inside of the right thigh. So we're finding half butterfly here. Square your chest toward your extended right leg. So rotate the ribs, maybe even use your hands to do that. Reach your arms upward. Keep looking toward your right pinky toe. Imagine your left underarm moving toward the right pinky toe as you fold forward. Try not to overthink how far into the stretch your body goes, but rather to focus on the sensations in the back side of your spine, from your tailbone all the way up to the base of the skull, as well as any sensations in the back of your right leg. Let the head drop, maybe give your chin another gentle shake or nod here. Start to walk the hands back. Keep the legs the way they are. Bring your right hand to the outside of the left thigh or knee. Keep your right sit bone pinned down as you reach your left arm up. Really pull up through the left arm like you're lifting your rib cage away from your hips. And then lean to the right, reaching the left fingers toward the right foot. Totally fine if they don't get there. You can use your right hand to kind of pull gently. Notice if you start to pull in a way that feels like a strain. I got a little pinch there, so I'm going to back off. And then give your chin a nod toward your right shoulder, nod toward the ceiling. Find a spot that feels good in your neck. Maybe imagine that you've got like water in your right ear like a swimmer and you're just very gently trying to shake it out. And breathe in. And then bring that left hand back behind you. Bring the right hand back behind you. Straighten your legs or windshield wiper your knees. I like to kind of straighten them out and paddle out the backs of the legs, kind of shake out anything in the back of the legs or the hips. And then we're going to keep the left leg long and set up for that half butterfly by bringing the sole of the right foot to the inside of the left leg. Square your ribs, square your hips toward that left foot. Perhaps you reach your arms up. And then hinge forward, imagining the right underarm moving toward the left little toe. Dropping your head and decompressing anything in the back of the neck. Great place for a little jaw check. Maybe open your mouth and actually move the hinges of your jaw slowly side to side. You can also bring the tip of your tongue and run it along the front side of your teeth to relax the cheeks, the gums, the jaw. Start to walk the hands back in to lift the chest up. You're going to bring left hand to the outside of the right thigh or knee somewhere. Reach your right arm up. Use that right arm to pull the entire rib cage, not just the right side, but the entire rib cage up and then over, reaching fingertips toward your extended left foot. And then again, maybe it feels okay to bring a little bit of mobility into the neck here. Maybe imagining that you're just so gently shaking water out of your left ear. Breathe in as you bring both arms slowly back behind you. You can windshield wiper your knees side to side. You can straighten the legs and paddle them out or flop the feet side to side. Kind of intuit what your body needs for a moment here. And then when you're ready, meet me in Shavasana. If you need a different version of a spinal twist, or if you'd prefer to take Shavasana on your belly or on your side, or even with your legs up the wall. And take your time adjusting your body gradually until you find a position where you really feel like you can let go, or you can release into the surface beneath you. And then let your body become completely still so that the only movement is the ebb and flow of your prana as you breathe. Those upward currents of energy with your in-breath. And those downward currents of energy helping you melt and relax a little bit deeper with your out-breath. Upward currents of energy from the toes all the way up the body to the crown of the head as you breathe in. And as you exhale, it's like a wave just washing away any lingering tension on the breath out. And stay here, continuing to let the body release and melt. Listen for my voice in just a few moments to close our practice. And see if you can do this next part slowly. And nod your head side to side. You open and close your hands or turn your feet in and out. A little supination, pronation, rotation of the hip. Take your time moving intentionally to transition from whatever version of Shavasana you took to a seat. Eventually finding an upright position with your spine tall and your heart open, and then bring your palms over your heart space with the fingers spread out pretty wide so that you can cover a lot of surface area around your upper chest here. And feel that you can gently press your sternum into your hands, and the shoulders might melt down behind your heart space a little bit as you do that. Keep the hands there. We'll take a big breath in, let your lungs fill, your rib cage expand, your sternum press up into your hands. Shoulders lift up into the ears, and then let it all go. Thank you for sharing some of your time, your energy with yourself and with me today. Take good care, and I hope to see you again real soon.